What if I told you that every day as you are using your words, they are not just describing your life, they are actually programming it. Your words, remember, carry a frequency, and that frequency, whether that dialogue is internal or external, that frequency is shaping your emotions, your identity, and the outcomes you experience, whether you realize it or not. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. Welcome, beautiful souls, to Infinite You. I'm Dr. Sheri, spiritual psychologist, multidimensional mindset mentor, intuitive empowerment guide, and soul-led success coach. And we are going to be talking today about something subtle, powerful, and often overlooked: the frequency of your words. So welcome, welcome. If you are here to expand, align with your soul, become more aware, raise your vibration, tune in, lose limits, and manifest the life that you know that your soul knows you are meant for, you are definitely in the right place. So let's get right into it. Most people think of words as communication, and of course they are. Words are amazing, they're beautiful, etc., etc. But from a psychological, neurological, energetic perspective, words are definitely instructions for the universe, for the quantum field. And they tell your subconscious mind who you are. They tell your nervous system whether you are safe or threatened. And they definitely signal the energetic field what you are available for. And that is why changing your words really can change your life. Remember that words are a sound, and sound is a vibration, and a vibration carries a frequency. It carries information. And part of this big, beautiful design, this human design, this quantum design, this design that is a gift coming from God's mind, from God, from source energy. It is all one big, beautiful tapestry of how we create and how we manifest and how we feel on this most incredible human journey, this roller coaster called life. And remember too that your body responds to tone before meaning. Your body is so deeply connected in this three-dimensional reality to what is happening at the soul level in 5D. And I talk about this in pretty much all of my videos. Think of your body and physical reality as 3D, your subconscious mind is 4D, and your superconscious mind is 5D at that soul level, right? So I know that there are different ways to operationalize dimensionality, and I can make another whole video about that. But I'm thinking and talking about body, mind, soul, 3D, 4D, 5D, conscious, subconscious, and superconscious mind. So that's the basis of where I'm coming from when I'm making the majority of my videos. So your body is tuned into 5D, 3D is tuned into 5D, and really 4D is that intermediate space, right? It's our programming, it's our identity, part of our human design, because we are complicated conscious beings, is that God created us to have this big, beautiful brain that is wildly programmable. And part of that is that we learn things through our subconscious mind because there is so much to learn when we're young. And so we're programmed. It's just a part of the deal. And we can actually, like, as we're evolving and growing and expanding, we can almost begin to see that programming, good, bad, or in between, really being our greatest gift, our greatest teacher, so we can see the contrast and begin to transform and transmute and move beyond that to the point where we can create beliefs and programming that are completely resonant with who we are at the soul level. And that's when we become really empowered, really authentic, and really leaning into our very nature this time around. Do we ever reach that perfection and enlightenment? Maybe, but that's kind of not the point. The point is we get to just sort of be imperfect on this, crazy little ride called life. So Your body responds to tone before meaning, going back to the frequency of words and how you communicate with yourself and put your words out into the world. And your nervous system reacts to frequency long before logic. So when you say things like, I can't, I'm stuck, this always happens to me, I am not enough, you are not just venting, you are reinforcing your identity and your frequency. You are reinforcing the programming that likely you have, inherited along the way, right? And remember, energetically, we're inheriting program through generations as well. And I've talked about this in other videos. So it's multidimensional. It's multidimensional. But I also want to remind you that high frequency language expands possibility, where you say things like, I'm becoming, I'm learning, I'm open to a new way, I am present in my own life, I show up. And that is very expansive, where low frequency language will contract you, high frequency language will expand you. And that's really where the law of attraction kind of begins to make perfect sense in this co-creative experience that we humans are in. So what's really happening at the subconscious and identity layer? Remember that your subconscious mind is not analyzing your words. Your subconscious mind is accepting them as truth. The thing about the subconscious is that the subconscious is communicating in visions and in symbols, right? And so words definitely are letters and they are symbols, and the subconscious is communicating from that space, from that perception. And so when you repeat language and words again and beliefs again and again, remember, a belief is a thought that you're repeating over and over and over and over. So when you're saying things like, I'm bad at money, I am too much, I always mess this up, I am not enough, I'm not good enough, those are not descriptions. They become self-hypnosis. But here's the gift. You can always speak yourself into coherence, into alignment, and into expansion, right? This is why self-awareness is just such a big, beautiful, important part of our path as conscious, evolving human beings, right? To just take that step back and really look at what we are saying to ourselves and really heighten our level of self-awareness. And I know that for me, there was definitely a time in my life when I didn't even realize how often I was using language of survival, even while definitely doing deep inner work, And I do think, I'm going to say this, and if you're a native New Yorker, feel free to comment if you happen to be watching this video. I feel like native New Yorkers have a thing about being self-deprecating, because I think it's kind of like a quirky part of our sense of humor. And so, we just sort of say things that are, completely self-deprecating because it's kind of ridiculous and funny. And we just need to be careful of that too. But definitely for me on a personal level, I would say things like, I should, I have to, I need to do this, I'm trying, and then it kind of would lead into, oh my God, I never am going to be enough. And honestly, like, nothing was really wrong in my life at that time per se, but it was definitely not aligned with my amazing, empowered, bigger picture of who I was at the identity level. And once I figured that out, I definitely began to consciously shift my language, my inner dialogue, and then I saw things shift. My reality, the people that I attracted into my life, relationships that really were just a fundamental part of my own growth and expansion. And my energy softened, and I was okay to be still, and my nervous system definitely calmed down. And for sure, opportunities began to flow much more easily. So I definitely noticed that it was not because I was forcing the possibility of anything happening, but it was really about choosing words that matched who I was becoming. life has a way of working out for me. Things come easily to me, right? I always have time to create and, explore like my own path and my own passion and my personal freedom. I feel resilient in times of struggle or change, right? So we get to decide at every level who we are becoming and what we are creating with the vibration and the frequency of our words. And one of the most powerful practices is this: speak as the version of you who is already aligned. And I want to be really careful about how I say this, because alignment is a very intentional process. Alignment really is, in my opinion, and this is how I teach this and this is how I coach this. When I talk about 3D body, physical reality, 4D subconscious mind and identity and programming, and then 5D, our beautiful eternal selves at the soul level that is completely nonplussed by what is happening in 3D and 4D, right? The soul is eternal. The soul is wise. Your soul has been around again and again and again and again. Your soul always knows, and it is at a beautiful high frequency of joy and of love and of God frequency, right? So we want to match our own personal core frequency the best we can to God frequency, to that gratefulness, to that joy vibration of love. So that's really what I'm getting at. And we can construct our identity around that high frequency of joy, of love, of God frequency by shifting our programming in 4D. Alignment is a journey. Alignment is something that is intentional, that we just move in and out of, move in and out of, move in and out of. Why? Because we are imperfect human beings here on the planet, and we're just doing the best that we can to stay true to who we are, so we can create, so we can serve, so we can prosper, so we can become, so we can expand the collective consciousness in a really powerful, amazing, inspired way, right? For the entire human population. So speak as the version of you who was already aligned. Do you fall out of alignment? Yes. Do you hop back in? Yes. It's an intentional journey. And really, it's kind of the fun of it. It's the kind of the fun of this self-discovery of who we can become. It is a journey. It is a journey. It is a journey, right? It is not a destination, as cliche as that sounds. It is not about pretending. It is not about bypassing, but it is about choosing language that reflects possibility instead of limitation. You're always wanting to be in that space of possibility and not limitation. Do we all have bad days? Yes. Can we have a pity party? Yes. But acknowledge it for what it is, and you'll know when you bounce back. The beautiful thing about being intentional, about being aligned with your essence, your soul, and matching your identity and your programming and beliefs around it, is that you become really resilient and wise in the process, right? Add a little faith into that and your spiritual sensibility, whatever your proclivity is and your relationship is with God or the universe or the quantum field, however it works for you, just stay into that space as well. And remember that your words, of course, do not need to be perfect, but they do need to be intentional. And so if this video resonated with you, just pause for a moment and notice, what phrase do you repeat most often about yourself? What if you said, I'm amazing. I feel really good. I live in a high vibration. I really do choose to do the right thing. I'm kind. I'm a good person. I love people. I take care of myself and my world around me. I'm intentional. I'm conscious. You get the picture, right? This can go on and on, but drop it in the comments, and remember that awareness is always the first shift. And if this kind of multidimensional mindset work and spirituality and energy and consciousness and psychology speaks to you, definitely make sure you are subscribed so we can just keep expanding together. And remember to, and I will put links in the description box below for my free newsletter, my free webinar, Recode Your Reality, probably my quantum alignment session if you would like to connect with me one-on-one, and my new school membership. You get a 7-day free trial in there. It's Infinite You, and that is the place where we align, expand our consciousness, learn all of the pieces of the puzzle of how to manifest and create the life that you really would like to experience, that your soul is calling you to do. So remember, your words are not small. They are creative commands going into the universe for you to manifest and bring them into your physical reality. So please speak gently to yourself. Be kind. Speak your truth. Speak from soul. Speak from your authentic self, your heart center, as much as you possibly can. It's a tough world out there, so, don't be too squishy soft, right? And whatever. And it's not even a warning. I'm just kind of being a little bit silly here and tongue in cheek, but it's true. Coming from someone who knows. Speak in alignment with who you are becoming, because the universe, remember, is not just listening, it is responding. Have a beautiful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world watching this video, and I will see you all next time. Namaste.